Hey guys, Joel's coming at you with another reasoning sesh where I challenge the status quo of the wisdom of the world and the church by diving deep into the ancient scriptures, uncovering meanings glossed over by translations and traditions, really cutting to the core of the metaphysical aspects of these ancient texts and applying them practically to situations in our present day so that we can live our best life yet and manifest an earth beyond our wildest imaginations. And today, I'm going to be talking about how even though you might be going through a time of famine, Source has some abundance with your name on it.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
But before I begin, I gotta say, if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, stay tuned, and really accelerate forward, because as we build this momentum, we will literally crash through the grates of manipulation and control, that fear-mongering that the institutions have been imposing on their people, and really break out of that paradigm and manifest our true potential and live out our destiny in this new era. But with that out of the way, I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to be reading about Itzħaq, or Isaac, and this passage comes from Bere'shit, or Genesis, the 26th chapter. Check it out. It says, "And there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Itzħaq went unto Avimelech, king of the Philistine, unto Gerar." So there's a famine going on in the land, not just like the first famine, but this is another famine on top of that. "And Yahweh appeared unto him, Itzħaq, and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell you of." And of course, at that time, Egypt was literally the land of abundance because of the Nile and all of that kind of fertility. But Yahweh says, "Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and will bless you. For unto you and unto your seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swore unto Abraham your father. And I will make your seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto your seed all these countries, and in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And Itzħaq dwelt in Gerar." And then it goes on to say how Itzħaq sowed in that land during a famine and received in the same year 100-fold. And Yahweh blessed him. Now 100-fold, a lot of translations say that's 100 times. But if you actually dig into it, it's likely that 100-folds means 2 to the power of 100. Or whatever, this number is up on the screen. Can't do the math off the top of my head right away. But this literally is when you take a piece of folder and you fold it once, that's 1 fold. Literally double. And when you fold it twice, that's 2-fold, which is 4 times. So on and so forth. And when you plant a seed, even 1 kernel of corn, if you look at how many kernels are on 1 cob of corn, it's like 600. And how many cobs are on 1 plant? So we're not just talking about a few hundred times. We're not talking multiplication. We're talking exponential growth. And then it goes on to say, "And the man waxed great, and went forward and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And the Philistine envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistine had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Itzħaq, Go from us, for you are much mightier than we. And Itzħaq departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Itzħaq digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistine had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them." So you can see, because his father tapped in and taught his son everything he needed to know how to walk with El Elyon, the Most High. There is no Moster High. Literally, all of that blessing that Source manifests was coming to him the same it came to his father Abraham. And that's how much we have potential to tap into. Literally, we can change our own realities by tapping into this essence and really manifesting our best lives yet. And where my family's from in India, both my parents had wells growing up, because who had the well, they had abundance. Even times when it wasn't raining, there was still water in the well. And every morning, even though you could see the rocks at the bottom, the well would fill up. This is the nature, that waterbed, because my mom at least lived at the bottom of like a hill where there were hot springs all at the top of the hill, and all of that water was coming through. And literally other villagers would come and ask my grandma for water, and being the person that she was, she just gave out of the abundance of her heart, which kind of parallels the nature of Source. Mind you, she had a real relationship, despite being raised Roman Catholic, a real relationship with the living logo since the time she was 8 years old. She always said this, and this is probably why our family actually had this kind of abundance just flow right through it. And that well water literally is like living water. It's the water of the earth. It's charged by that energy. And you know, it's not coming through copper or PVC pipes. It's not going through all these straight lines. It's flowing over rocks, getting all that minerals in. It's literally life-giving water. And of course, they had to boil it to sterilize it. But all of that stuff is just alive. And that's the nature of the living waters that is part of that abundance that Source wants to give us. Literally, the living logos is compared to wells of living water bursting forth from your own kishkis, your guts. And the story of Itzħaq actually uses this picture of wells and that water because it's a shadow of when the logos actually took on physicality. The whole scripture, all of it, is just shadows of that full blueprint that was yet to be manifested. Because that is the destiny that Source has for each one of us. We don't deserve anything less. So if you're living hand to mouth, day to day, you know, that's not the way it should be. That's literally not your potential. You shouldn't be worrying about these little things. You got to be concentrating on the big things. And from there, all these little things will fall into place because Source is abundant and Source has our best interests in mind. So break out of those limits of the physical dimension. Break out of that control that the ego has had on your mind, literally to say you have to do these things, A, B, C, to survive, and just tap into your heart because your heart knows what you need and your heart will actually allow you to experience that in fullest potential. Fullest potential. We're literally seeing a splitting of worlds right now, and those that are on the higher level are literally manifesting things that couldn't even exist in the world that preceded this. So tap in. I love you guys. I really do. I want all of us to experience this kind of abundance because this is our birthright. This is who we are as awareness, as manifesting beings made in the image of Elohim. Elohim spoke the word and reality was created. And that's the power that we have because we're made in that image. So tap into that, really seize your authority, allow that essence to flow through you and into the world around you, and you too can live in the utopia that you've come here to experience. I love you guys. I'll check you in a future reasoning sesh. Joel signing out once again. Agape, Salaam, Namaste. Shalom.